We're getting ready for Around the Ecomi Verse. Get pumped up. Get excited. Here we go.
Hi.
Yo! Round the Coinverse episode 74. We got you boys, Crypto Rain, the real Randy Chavez.
What's up, everyone?
Queen VeVe's husband, Will. Awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited today. Have you guys checked your portfolios today? Nice and green.
Yeah, well, right after we started talking, I checked about it was, I guess, 7 hours ago, and it was kind of a slow morning. Most things were kind of down, and then the last 4 hours gone crazy.
It is a fun day to wake up. For me, it's still 8 a.m. in the morning, so you know it's very early here. It's freezing in Melbourne now. I think you guys are in summer, right? It's hot for you guys, and it's freezing.
Yeah, it's still technically spring. It'll be summer next month, though.
Yeah, okay, yeah, makes sense because it's autumn here and we're just going to winter. But in Melbourne, it feels like winter already. Like it's freezing, icy cold. We got a few questions already. I don't know if we should answer those later. And there's one. Dr. Prophet said that somebody who shall not be named, Big B, is out of tokens, and then somebody else is disputing that. And yeah,
Can we call him Little B? Can we call him Little B instead of Big B?
He could be Little B now. He was Big B before when he had billions.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, just to address the first one, where he says that person no longer has a Togo, but Crypto Bro disputed these claims. The accuracy in the posts I've seen from Crypto Bro have been subpar at best, and I haven't seen the claims that he posted on this particular subject, but I would definitely take his claims with a grain of salt. Talking about Crypto Bro, not Dr. Prophet. But I'll let you guys know that is not the only former OMI billionaire we've had that's coins have gone down to zero. There's somebody else that, as I was reaching out last month to try to do like massive OTC deals with someone, I reached out, someone that I knew back in the day. I think he had around 2 billion at the time, and his tokens are gone. So that might have been one of the other people that had been selling. I don't know at what prices they'd sold at. I don't know what prices that they originally got in at. I think they got in before the 2020 launch, but either way, it was so it's just another one less OMI billionaire that can't dump. So I think those are a pretty good thing.
Absolutely. I mean, for those of us who would like even cheaper prices, that's a bad thing. For those that are exhausted with the cheaper prices, that's a good thing.
No worries, OMI 190M. You gotta change your name, man. It's too hard to say.
Well, he's no longer OMI 190M.
Yeah,
he's like
got 220.
I forget what he said, 220M or something.
Let's go.
220M now.
Right. I love it. 240M. OMI 240M now.
He also has like 3 million MK. He's a big whale. He's got a lot of stuff.
Damn.
240. Smash to like.
My heckin' man.
So, I know you said name. Dukin?
Yeah,
Kova?
I think this is what the big deal is. The last 4 hours is what Dukin Kova is talking about.
That must be because I read an article about it, and it's saying it's Ethereum ETF has gone from 25% rating to now 75% as a prediction, and I think it's because SEC has tweeted about some filings to be accelerated. So I actually thought this was going to happen. I thought like everyone says ETF's not coming, then it has to be coming. It has to be like the opposite, right? They play these games. It's all about the games. So
I mean, it's likely why Ethereum's up 18% on the day. It's probably because of that.
That is a lot. I think that's the most this year, right, guys? I'm pretty sure that's the most Ethereum's moved this whole year.
And it's what in the last 4 hours too. It didn't do much in the beginning of the day, like Crypto Rain was saying.
Look at that green candle.
Do you guys know how annoying that is for me? Because I actually sold some Ethereum yesterday because I needed cash. So I would have made an extra grand if I just waited. Oh well.
That is beautiful. Love that.
You know what's interesting about this fight with the SEC? They don't want to approve ETH because then it's going to be harder for them to declare everything else as security, and they want control over it all. But I imagine there's some pressure with the U.S. elections going on because the Democrats are like, "You're effing going to cost us the election, Gary." And so I would love to be a fly on the wall hearing those conversations and how much pressure is being put on him to reverse his stance, because there's some single issue voters, and they're going to have to vote Republican, even if they wish they could vote Democrat, because the Democrats have been so anti-crypto. And Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren have been leading that painted the whole Democrat Party with that brush. So I'm curious what kind of pressure is being brought on him to, you know what, freaking back off, get out of the way. It's going to happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty crazy year. It's gonna be a crazy year. I think we need Trump back, right? He says he's crypto friendly, so hopefully he sticks to that. We have a comment here. For Base Network, for OMI and Ethereum, you can actually store them both on a Ledger Nano. So you can actually, I store mine on Ledger Nano, and it works for Base Network as well. So it's still protected. Inside, it's like you connect your Ledger to MetaMask, and if you want to move your Base or sell it or buy it or whatever, you still have to put your PIN number into your Ledger to do it. So it's quite safe. Yeah. So.
Base,
it will be good for Base, yeah. Because everything on Base Network is paired with Ethereum. There's no other pairs right now on Base. They might make their own stable coin or use USDT or USDC at some point in Base, but right now it's literally just it's pairings with just Ethereum and like OMI.
Yeah. I also think that in the same way that some people say like, oh, an attack on one is an attack on all, but it's kind of the opposite is also true. Like what's good for one is also good for all. So yeah,
it's a winner takes. It's a winner for all. It's like a, what is it? Rising tide lifts all ships, something like that. So I think in crypto, a lot of people like player versus player, but really we can all get rich together. There's no need to fight over which crypto is better. And overall, the market cap's going to go crazy, guys. I'm super excited this year. I'm selling my house, guys. I'm selling my house.
Do it. Speaking of selling things, Bill Gardner the other day had posted a photo of like a Pepe meme. He's like, hey, do I sell my 540 million Pepe for 10 million more OMI? And he tags a bunch of people. And I, of course, I already told him, sell everything. Not financial advice. It's just to him because he's a friend. He's a buddy of mine. And then Dr. Stuff wrote something that I think we should go over. He says, well, Pepe's at a $3 billion market cap. If things went crazy, it could potentially do a 10 to 12x from here. He says he doesn't think it'll do anywhere what Doge did last cycle, since Doge has Elon in his corner and is just different. But he says, I believe OMI has the potential to do a lot more X's than that. If it burns, you has OMI to NFT, and a few more big exchanges happen. Dr. Profit has publicly said that he believes OMI to NFT will have a 1 to 2 burn percent rate. I'm not sure if that's something that should have gone over publicly, but that's what he had said. It's out there, so we're just reporting on it. And then he says a few more big exchanges. We're likely going to have those. We've got 2 already. I'm not sure if we're going to get 17 more this year or 4 more this year, but we should have some more this year. What do you guys think about that?
I would be so excited if we got Coinbase. That would be that'd be moon time for OMI. Right, we need a big US exchange. I don't think it matters if we got Binance, that would be good, but we really need an exchange in US. Pardon?
Is for the Coinbase friendly? Do you think they're trying to make it more Coinbase friendly by moving to Base, or is it just a fee thing?
No, actually, because it's on Immutable X. Coinbase already lists Immutable X. They could list it. It's just a matter of them wanting to list it, and doesn't have tons of volume yet. And so Coinbase isn't that interested. Plus Coinbase hasn't been adding a lot of new tokens that I'm aware of, just as they kind of wait to get things figured out with the SEC. So a lot of exchanges have made it harder to get on them than it used to be. and this has been going on for the past year. It's not that you can't, but the exchanges are less going after projects to bring on to them. You can pay a bunch of money to provide the trading liquidity and stuff and get listed on them and pay a bunch of fees, and you can go to them, but they're less likely to come to you. That'll all change when the market gets hot, and especially if some more of these rulings go bad for the US SEC and good for Coinbase, then the exchanges will be emboldened, like we're at less risk from the US securities laws.
Man, we've got a lot of questions here. I'm not sure where
Is
to
he
start.
still listed on that, just Janik?
Yeah, so a few different people said the same thing. They said Joseph Jenkins still has a large amount of OMI. We need him to dump it.
What is the do we know how much OMI he has?
If he's the number 9, it must be in the billions.
Yeah.
Where's the other comment about him? I don't know.
You know what's interesting? Like, we look at OMI that way and how many big whales still have tokens, but it's nowhere near what Chainlink looks like. Like Chainlink, like 80% of their tokens are owned by massive venture capitalists and whales, and yet they don't talk about that often. Like, a lot of the OMI is distributed among the community, except for like the 2 big whales, right? The founders have billions of tokens. But apart from that, like even somebody having 2 or 3 or 5 billion tokens, that can get chewed through fairly quickly.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, it's just David and Dan, right? They have like 30 billion each, but they've never sold a token.
Yeah,
No,
and we've been outside of like the narrative, right? Once the narrative happens, 2 things happen. Number one, demand starts going crazy. Secondly, people are less likely to sell because they see, oh my gosh, it's finally happening. And so then the price just escalates very, very quickly. So not only is massive demand coming in, but sellers are less likely to sell. They were about to sell, or they even had it listed and they hurry and cancel their orders because they want to write it a lot higher, and the prices go crazy.
Yeah, what I was going to say was, it's gone. It's gone. Justin put me off with this comment here.
I saw
Imagine
it.
Chuck Norris' sex scandal comes to the surface.
Wait, what happened with Chuck Norris? What?
I don't
I don't know.
I'm
He's a
serious.
bit old for that. No, Justin's just being silly. He's saying if there was a sex scandal, but he's like, what is he? He's in his 70s now, right, guys? He's not a young
80s.
guy anymore.
I'm guessing the sex scandal was years ago. And it's just coming to light now.
No, he's just making it up.
No,
he said, imagine.
that's just a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did it happen on a
Already?
turtle gym?
I just said, look at your hat. I know we've got the Ecomi hats coming. Do you guys know when they're coming? I'm super excited for those.
I don't. I'm waiting though to order my hat because I want to make sure I get the number 41 hat. So I have to wait to get the number 41 logo, and then I'll get the number 41 hat.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really exciting. I can't wait for my hat. I was just speaking to Sanjay today. I think he's coming on around the Comiverse next week. We'll have Sanjay on, Mr. MC1. So that'll be good. Will, what's been happening with you the last couple of weeks?
Not a whole bunch. Unfortunately, I got an adult. I need a crown, so that's taking all my fun money because I got to make sure my teeth look good when we all become millionaires. So that's important to me. I'm a definite teeth snob, so I don't like bad teeth. So I got to do that this week, and I haven't really bought much. A couple comic books here, but I haven't bought much. I'm hovering just right around like 2,200 collectibles or something like that.
That is a lot. Yeah, and we got Blackpink coming up, right?
It's a lot
In
of
few days.
collectibles.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, we'll see what happens. I get
You're not
yelled
into
at.
it? You're not into Blackpink?
It's not that. It's do you think the market's going to be there right away? I think I'll have time. I'll know by the first drop how it goes.
We got no FUD, but for a long time, Blockchain was a big contributing member of the community. He's still involved with the VeVe OMI. Always enjoys insights, Randy's interviews. Thanks, Jordan.
He had helped the team out years ago with certain things. I think starting with GoChain. He was one of the original people that identified certain issues with GoChain, and that's why they moved. And I mean, he has the Feeshes, so I mean, he's involved as far as he's a licensor.
I have
but
noticed that he's selling stuff.
Yeah. He mentioned that on the Feesh's Discord, just saying like, he didn't say why. He said like, hey, I think I can kind of do what I want. Like I think I've earned that right. They're my collectibles. People were like, yeah, that's true. But I think he just said like there's a couple things that are just that he had to do, and some things just aren't as fun anymore as they were. I think when the tide changes and things come back, he'll come back as well.
52 days until Comic-Con. Hotel prices are sky high. Have you guys booked? You guys going?
Haven't booked it yet. It's all right.
Like I said,
Will
I
you go-
want
will
to
you go?
go, but I think New York's where we're going to be, hopefully. Like I said, I would love to go to San Diego. I haven't been there yet.
We've got Black Vigil says, when it's time to take profits, OMI to the ball, what's the best way? Definitely on base. Base is like way cheaper fees. And I think the base liquidity pool is going to keep growing and getting bigger. I'm not sure what happens when we get that Coinbase smart wallet, guys. That just makes everything insane. If you guys don't know what the Coinbase smart wallet is, it's basically instead of needing MetaMask and Uniswap to be able to buy anything on base, it'll just be one click. If you have the Coinbase wallet app, you just click a button and you say you find OMI, you click it, it'll automatically create a smart wallet for you in the background. You don't need a passphrase or anything. You don't need to do MetaMask. You don't need Uniswap. It'll work out the best pool and it'll buy it and it'll put it in your wallet. And it's supposed to be like, one click within 30 seconds, you get whatever token it is you like. It should really help bring a lot of liquidity into any base token. Right, that goes for OMI, that goes for Chuck, that goes for MCADE. There's a lot now that are on base that have moved to base. So that's going to be really exciting. And that might be a really good thing for OMI because that makes it really easy for Americans that don't want to do Uniswap and MetaMask to buy OMI. So it's going to be a big deal.
Speaking of OMI, I was just on I just had a quick call from a whale. I was like, hey, how do I get this OMI on base? I was like, oh, my man, let me go and send you a couple videos. So I'm going to send him some Foster Hilt videos right now on the new base stuff, and he's going to go get some.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. You just bridge it over. It takes a few minutes. Have you done it, Randy? You played around with base yet?
Yeah, I did it with a buddy of mine here. I just showed him like how to do it, just so he's familiar with it, and he just put in like $1,000 into it, and he got a little bit of OMI on base just so he has it. And for those of you that don't know, on the Coinbase wallet, if you're looking at it and it's like, hey, I just bought like $10,000 worth of OMI, it should be up top. It won't show up because it's not like registered yet, like the price. So it'll be at the bottom and it'll show no value, even though obviously you can calculate what it is just based on how much you have and what the price is. But it'll just show like no value on the bottom of your Coinbase wallet if you're doing that there. On Uniswap, I'm not sure how it is.
Yeah, just be careful if you're using the Coinbase wallet to swap. It's best to use Uniswap because if you use the Coinbase wallet to swap, if anyone's made these small liquidity pools, sometimes it'll pull from those and you'll get a really bad ratio of tokens. So definitely recommend using the Uniswap and MetaMask, or you can hook up Coinbase to Uniswap as well. Or you have to navigate in browser or something like that. I don't use Coinbase, so I actually don't know exactly how it works. But I've used MetaMask a lot and Trust Wallet, so I know it's very similar to that. You learn more about Coinbase Wallet. Danny the Bull sent me a video on it. Maybe I'll put it in a link in the description, guys. After this video is done, I'll add a link in there with it. Coinbase did like a demo. It was like a demo video, and they showed how the Coinbase Smart Wallet's going to work. I think it's only a few weeks till it comes out, but as far as I know, there's no exact date. But I did see someone saying 17 days. That was about 3 days ago. So if that's the case, like 2 more weeks, we should get it. Yes.
Sorry.
7 rings. 7 days.
So speaking of 7 days, in the last 7 days, we had a couple of people go in and buy a bunch of collectibles. You had Kirby 1988 bought 309 collectibles. You had Bezos Man, the big man, #1 wallet over on VeVe, bought 442. And he was writ small by Bounder Yo that had purchased 945 collectibles. So what is it? Now the fudders keep telling us that like VeVe's dead and OMI's dead. then why are these people that are obviously super successful, they have a lot of money, enough to buy a bunch of these collectibles, why are they still putting money into a dead project? Quandary. What are your thoughts on that? Can you disabuse me of this notion?
Well, what's funny is the people that are saying it's dead. I mean, with the who are the people that are saying it's dead? And if we were to look at what they have going on, it's like success leaves clues. If you look at the lives of the people that are buying more, they usually have a track record and history of buying things when everyone else writes them off as dead and holding them until they do well. And the people that are selling now or think it's dead and they sold a while ago, well, what does their track record look like? Not tons of success in their track record for this type of thing, right? Buying cheap and then selling high, which is what investment's all about, whether it's stock investment, real estate investment, crypto investment. Like I even have people today telling me, oh my gosh, real estate investment is the best. And it's like, have you seen prices? They went, depending on the market, some of them are up 4x, houses 4x in the last 12 years. Don't tell me real estate, like what goes up comes down eventually. So like some people don't get this notion, whether it's in crypto, whether it's in whatever market. And what goes down often goes up. And so what people are like, OMI's done nothing but go down for 3 years. And, you know, they're not fully wrong. They're a little bit wrong in that it's not its lows, but it's close. What happens after it goes down for so long? Well, as long as it survives, it then goes up. And if it goes down so crazy like that, it then goes up massively. And look, people who don't get this, I'm not going to convince them, and it's okay. What is going to convince them is when they see it happen, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, Rain said this would happen. And some people are just going to block me and like forget about it because they won't be able to face that they were just wrong on this. And some people will learn from it that were arguing against it, that couldn't see the logic in it already, because many of you already see the logic in this. It's really not that hard to understand. But some people are so emotionally vested in the other side, they just won't listen to logic. And that's cool. They'll see differently.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting what happens over the next, 6 months to 12 months. Do you guys believe in the 8-year bull run like gold did for Bitcoin? What do you think, Rain? Or Will? You look like you got some ideas.
I don't think so. Like I said, I hope so. I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's going to be secular, just like everything else.
Yeah, the way that could happen is if the US dollar spirals out of control. And that's just because there's nothing else safe to invest in, because if the US dollar is going out of control, every other currency is also going out of control. And so then the whole monetary system, so it will look like the dollar price of crypto, it just keeps going crazy. But the truth is it's the dollar value that's going the opposite direction. And so crypto will be the only thing holding its value. And it will be increasing in value on top of that as people flee the sinking ship of fiat. But I think it'll be cyclical again. I think we'll have a swing up, and I think we'll have a swing down.
The 8-year timeline, that might be the wrong question. The right question is, how many years of the bull market can you fit into just 2 years? And what I mean by that is, on the last week on Thursday, there were a couple of 13F filings reporting that there were 937 professional firms that were invested in the U.S. spot coin ETFs as of March 31st. So that was the end of Q1. In comparison, gold ETFs back in 2002, 2004, whenever they were approved, they had 95 professional firms invested in their first quarter. And if you take a look at history and look at what gold did in a very short amount of time, if we kind of extrapolate that and say, okay, almost 10 times as many professional firms are in these Bitcoin ETFs as were gold, and gold is not a finite resource. There's more that's bought and created all the time, and that's just on Earth, not including other companies that are going to go NASA, SpaceX, and mine it off of asteroids and stuff. So there's always going to be more of that. But Bitcoin, we know exactly how many there could ever be. Obviously, there's going to be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of them that are going to be lost. So what I think is, how much of a bull run could we fit in this 2 years? I think you probably could fit 8 years worth of that into this. And that's why I see more and more people, and granted, a lot of these are for clicks, but I do see more and more people, fairly credible people, that say, yeah, 100,000 is possible, but so is several 100,000. So is a million at some point. Do I think we get $1 million Bitcoin next year? No, but can we do a decent percentage of that? I think it's possible.
I like
Yeah,
to do
that's a great. Go for,
like,
go for it.
there's a Bitcoin machine at my get-go. So I went and got gassed and, pop or whatever. And I went up and I'm like, hey, anybody purchase that Bitcoin out of that machine? They're like, oh no, that's a scam if you ask me. That's exactly what I want to hear. That's when they start saying, yeah, everybody's purchasing, then I know what's going on.
When you walk in and there's 5 people in line there, you're like, oh, I'm getting worried now.
Yeah.
And they'll reassure you, oh no, Bitcoin's never going to go down from here. It's just going to go up. Oh, really? Now I'm really concerned.
Yeah, as soon as I start hearing that, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, Randy, that was a really good point about the 8 years into 2 years. That makes sense. Like, just cram it all in, and I guess that is starting to happen, right? What's crazy is the hedge funds and stuff have hardly even got involved yet. A lot of the different large companies and stuff, they take like 6 months to onboard with new ETFs, 3 months to 6 months.
Yeah, right now, 18% of the float, I think, is just owned by retail, which is about 11 billion. So yeah.
We'll get some cool stats from the peeps here. More BTC has been lost by the governments and the ETFs combined. ETFs combined hold more Bitcoin than all governments combined. Yeah. Sell signals. Here we go. He's updated.
All right.
Jeez, that's a lot. That is a lot.
That's a good start.
A good start. Ray, are you beating him now?
No, I'm not yet. No, he's pulled ahead of me. So that's even if I got my Bitforex back. But it's not that I couldn't get way more than that. It's just I hate selling things when they're down to buy something else that's down. I like to wait till something gets way ahead and then sell it to roll it. And that's, unfortunately, the timing's always worked out that it's not that I haven't put lots of money into OMI. I didn't have lots of money where something was way up when OMI was way down. And so I only have like 160 million OMI. And then if I get the Bitforex back, it's like 192 million or something to OMI. And that's if we ever get the Bitforex OMI back. So no, he's ahead of me.
That's crazy.
I'm not sure if I said it on this stream. Maybe it was the one with Rain last week. The new goal is 250 million. And
nice.
I think I could get that. I think I can get that by the end of the month. There's a reason why I haven't been home in a couple months, and yeah, I'm going to get that bread.
Oh, we did have a question sort of related to OMI and collectibles. It was for Rain, but anyone can answer it. Do you think when Asia steps in, collectibles will be more profitable than OMI?
So this one I was thinking about because I saw it earlier, and the challenge with collectibles is you're trying to figure out which ones are going to go sky high. As you saw in the last, like January 2022, when the collectibles went way high, some went far higher than others. Amazing Spider-Man #1 comic was selling at the bottom for 2 to 3 gems. So was Marvel #1 selling for 2 to 3 gems. Amazing Spider-Man #1 went to like $200. Marvel #1 went to like $800. And so certain things outperform others. So you're trying to look for which ones might do better. And that takes inside knowledge. I didn't grow up in Japan. I didn't grow up with Japanese culture or Chinese culture or some of these other Asian cultures to really understand which ones are they really going to go for, and then be able to weigh in what do the supplies of those look like. And so it's harder for me to tell. OMI is just an easier one that I don't need to understand all those things to be able to pick just the right collectible that's going to outperform. I can just buy OMI and know that when that happens, it's also going to impact OMI and drive OMI higher. So there will probably be some collectibles that have a higher ROI and some won't. And so it's just easier for me to focus on OMI because I don't know all those things it takes to really understand which ones are the Asians really going to go for. Kind of like when Randy bought a bunch of Pokemon things, he had a lot of inside knowledge on, okay, even if not everything does well, these ones will do well. and he was specifically went for the ones that would do well, and he nailed it, right? So even though not everything did well, the ones he knew would do well, but that took a whole lot of knowledge and understanding on like what people would want for him to understand that.
I think Ultraman will skyrocket when Asia comes in.
What I like though is about OMI is I have less attachment to it. If I would buy, because I still have a couple of my things that I really want. I don't have a partner, my wife does. Like if I buy that, I'm not selling it, so it's like a waste. It's not wasted $1,400, but it's mine. Where OMI, I have no issue dumping 2 million OMI and taking my money and run.
Yeah, that's the hard thing with the collectibles, right? Too, is like you almost have to buy multiples of them so you can still keep one. Because really, are you going to part with that? If you spend 10 grand and buy a Miles Morales secret rare, are you going to be able to part with that at the top? It's hard. If you bought 20 of them, yeah, you could part with 15, maybe even 19 of them.
Well, I mean, I had the secret rare Spider-Man. It was 100K. And I mean, like every ounce of me was like, sell it, dummy. And I still have it. So that's how that went. So
there's the reason I took the jacket off and I look like poop, because I kind of wanted to show the horse tattoo. Being born in the year of the horse is one of my things that I'm fairly proud of. It's one of the better animals in the Chinese zodiac. And then you have the anime tattoo down there, the Dragon Ball Z one. And my knowledge for all things Asian and all things that Asians on the app is a fraction of what my knowledge on Pokemon is. That's super specialized, but I mean, we could take what I learned in Pokemon and we can apply it. Okay, what is something that people really like? What is something that would be considered high end? And we combine that with what we know from physical appearances, where we go to visit VeVe. And the only other booths that are really comparative to that are the Tokidoki booths. I don't know anything about Mermicornos or Unicornos. I studied some of their sales data on eBay. But there's one thing called the Year of the Dragon, the Tokidoki thing. I got 2 of their lucky gold Rosos because it's one of 88, but they kept 8 of them, so it's one of 80. I think that it only takes a couple of whales, a couple of interested people, to go in and buy something that is super scarce and kind of raise that price. So I got 2 of those. I think a lot of the Tokidokis in general, because I see people go mad for them. I have all the sets except for Kawaii All Stars. I just need 2 more, and then I'm good. Do any of these outperform OMI? I mean, not right now, I don't think. But I think that if OMI does a 20x when these guys just do a 2x, then maybe at that point you have a better chance of some of these things outperforming OMI at that time. But right now, I'd probably say OMI for everything.
yeah, I like Tokidoki stuff too. I haven't got the new set either, but like I said, I picked up, I think it was a 13 or something of the Riso Gold Dragon when somebody floored it, because it's the same reason, because I think somebody's going to want that, and I think they're going to pay for it.
Yeah, I think Mark Lynn down there had said OMI is going to be a lot more liquid as well. I mean, it doesn't matter how many of these, it doesn't matter how many of users we have. We could have 500,000 users. Would still be pretty liquid, but not all of them are going to be using or looking and trading for the thing that you're looking to sell. A fraction of them will, which again is fine for most things. But OMI, you'll be able to trade in no problem, no issue, multiple different sites, in multiple different.
Especially if you've got lots of them, right? If you've got lots of collectibles, if you've got like 10 Spider-Mans or something, right? You might be able to sell the first 2 or 3, and then it might take a while to sell the rest.
Yeah.
The market was pretty liquid back then. Now, I don't know how it's going to be with the amount of collectibles that was, but back in the day, I sold Sam Wilson's for $150, Mighty Marvels. I dropped 6 of them in about 30 minutes. So it was pretty liquid back then.
I do remember when it was going cray. But what do you think we've got now? Like 3 or 4 times more collectibles now in the app than last run.
Oh, a lot more.
Yeah, but you should be able to figure it out. I mean, like one of my favorite sets is that Star Wars set with the R2 C3PO, because I mean C3PO, Star Wars people are going to want that. There's 400 C3POs out. Like that's not going to have any issue selling, in my opinion.
Yeah, so it is definitely dependent on the exact collectible. Yeah. But yeah, overall, OMI's way more liquid. right? And the collectible, it also takes longer to sell. So it depends if you want to get the money out quickly or if you're happy taking a few weeks, right? We know selling your whole portfolio in VeVe would take weeks and weeks to do.
Well, that's right now. When we get OMI to NFT, and one, you don't have to pay for those transfer fees.
It's
Or
not
not
going to be
the
as
cash out
static
fees.
as you think. I don't think.
Yeah.
It depends how many you got too, right? You got 2,000 or you got 100.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, some of them aren't going anywhere, but I got doubles, triples, and quadruples of the ones that will, and you just try to be smart and hope you're smart enough.
And what do you guys think is happening with the Viviverse? Do we think we get it this year? Because I've sent like no updates lately.
What was it? What did you say for this year?
Viviverse. I want to know what's happening to Viviverse.
I mean, we're all wondering, right? They just let some master collectors in, I think, recently. In like the last month.
I didn't get an okay. I'm a master.
Oh, they didn't. Okay. I guess that was the plan, and I guess they didn't follow through with it. I'm not sure why. Then I'm not sure.
Rand, do you have any thoughts on what's happening with Viviverse?
Well, I guess I don't put a lot of my hopes in on that. Like, it'll be nice if it comes out and it's good. The metaverses have been disappointing, like Sandbox and Decentraland. So it's like if they do an upscale version of the Vault and you're able to then socially flex it, perfect. That's awesome. That's what I'm hoping it allows you to do. Everything on top of that, cool, but how usable is it? Like, go on Sandbox's thing. You can go in there and see how bored you get after like 2 days. And then just kind of like let that lower your expectations for like, is that a big deal? I think additional IP like Blackpink is the bigger deal. Keep focusing on that. I hope I'm wrong on Viviverse. Ends up being this amazing thing. But, just having really kind of hoped for Decentraland and Sandbox and waited for those to see them finally roll out, to get in there and after 2 days want to peel my eyes off. I know how metaverses kind of are. They're boring as shit until much later when you have lots of stuff in them, but that's much, much later. So I really just hope it's like a cool showcase that expands the capabilities to show off our cool collectibles and to pose them and do videos of them and continue to like make it easier for people to make videos of those to be able to share on social media. That would be amazing. That's what I want to see. And that's going to make us all money, because then the Viviverse will be a success and people will be using it. Why? Because we love to socially flex our identities, and collectibles are kind of say a lot about us. And so that's why it's fun to see people. Like, some of my favorite things on Twitter are videos of people's showrooms where they've made really cool like stills, and and I just know how much time it takes to place those. And so that's what I want to see with the Viviverse, is an upgrade version of that.
I guess my thought process is, I'm hoping, obviously I have no idea, but it's always been super tight-lipped, and I've never thought it was super tight-lipped because of VeVe. They're not going to chase you down because you're talking about what's in the Viviverse. To me, it's the IP that's going to be in the Viviverse. So I still hold out the dream of the Fortnite, Viviverse, Disneyverse, all as a one unit. Whether that's true or not, it's just me wanting it to be. I have no idea. But it's not VeVe that's going to track you down, that you talked about the Viviverse. I mean, they're not going to have the team of lawyers coming after you. It would be the IP that would have the team of lawyers, in my opinion.
And
That's
Disney is not above
insight
that.
I have not heard before. I like that, Will.
Yeah, Disney, I think, once sued like a preschool for showing like Lion King. Like Disney is savage.
They're not scared.
Like, yeah, people
That's
like
where my hope is. That's why I think it's been so tight-lipped, is maybe something came about between the interview with Dan in November and because like I said, it's not VeVe with the team of lawyers that I'm terrified of. It would be Disney or somebody like that.
So to go with the metaverse here, I really like that Mad TV skit, Lowered Expectations. I feel like that's a decent way to live life. You can't be upset or let down if your expectations are already lowered. But this reminds me of a guy I knew years ago. This was late 2016, and it was an HTC Vive. the one of the first headsets that you had like things, oh, we could use this for the metaverse eventually. And there was a guy that I knew that was there at this place where we tried it, and he's like, I don't like this. He thought it was, and it was a little lanky. It was, it was something that was ahead of its time, and that clashed with a person who was kind of a boomer, which is more of a product of his time. And I think that if you wind the clocks back to 2016, yeah, metaverse, you'd be too early. But if you take a look at some of the pay tables of the multi-year spending programs and how much each company spent on something that would have been considered before their time or ahead of their time, you have Apple from 04 to 07 that spent about 3.5 or 3.6 billion. You had the Manhattan Project back in the day, which spent about 23 billion. Tesla spent about 25 billion, and that was a capital burn before FCF profitability. Boeing, before it had all of its and potentially started unaliving people, but Boeing spent about 32 billion on their 787. Google had other bets the last 10 years, spent about 40 billion. And then the Apollo program, where at the time, I know obviously we look back on this with rose-colored glasses, but at the time there were a lot of people that were like, why are we spending so much money to go up to a rock that has no beings when we have problems down here on Earth that we can help? From 1960 to 1973, they spent about $253 billion. And a lot of times people thought that was a big waste for something that might not have worked. When you have Meta Labs going in and spending, by the end of this decade, will have been $250 billion, or about as much as they spent on the Apollo program. They're not I think Mark Zuckerberg is a beast. He's ahead of his time, and he's not doing this to fail. He's doing this to get ahead of the competition. He's doing this because the metaverse is likely a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. And yeah, the first pancake you always throw out, right? The first attempts at these metaverses are probably going to be, but after the bupkis, after the vicissitudes of failure, you have that phoenix that rises from the ashes. I'm not going to sit here and say that VeVe is definitely going to be the one to, headway that, but I think it can go along for the ride. And if it rides that wave, then you could have, is it going to make $1 trillion with it? Probably not, but can it get a share of the multi-trillion-dollar idea that this is? I think it can. And I think obviously people with VeVe and OMI will benefit from that.
So I think if you go where people want to be, like one of the problems with building ahead of their time is there's a lot of things that are built ahead of the time that end up being a disaster, and nobody goes that way. But if you kind of connect some two, like Sandbox and Decentraland, will they ultimately make it? Sandbox probably will. I have no idea if Decentraland will. But part of the thing is it's ahead of its time, meaning there's no game for people to play there. But that doesn't mean they can't build them, because why else would you want to go in the metaverse? Now, specific to VeVe's metaverse, like we've already seen some success in that. One of the most successful things they've done is they built a vault. Imagine if they hadn't built a vault. And you still have people posting. So it's been a bear market. A lot of people have washed out because of the bear market. And yet, how many cool videos do you see from people making from their vault or with their collectibles outside of the vault, making this stuff? So they've actually already hit an aspect in their coming metaverse that is a success that people are using. Now, imagine they add on it that you can make an avatar and you can go into someone else's vault and you can do videos with multiple people. Imagine you can have Randy in your vault with you and do a video with that. How many people I just volunteered you for about 20,000 people that, will want to have you in their vault.
They're going to put me in such awkward positions.
Yeah, right. And he'll have a full-time assistant taking his avatar into people's vaults so that they can then do videos with him in the vault. So imagine if they incorporate stuff like that, because then that gives you something to do while these games are being built. Because even if Disney is building a vault, now Fortnite building a vault, they're a game maker, right? So if they can incorporate somehow their game directly in there, well, then they're bringing the utility that would bring people to a metaverse. Like the whole reason Ready Player One is like so cool is because there's already these games in it, right? So sometimes people socialize, but really they're off. They meet up to go do games together with their avatars in it. So one of the boring parts about right now is like there's nothing to do in the metaverses. That's not to say it won't come. And Randy was right about like Facebook spending so much money and trying to make it happen. I hope ultimately the rails of the future metaverses are not built by Facebook. I don't trust them very much. And often the big companies get it wrong because their ship is so big and they just kind of throw money wildly. It's usually some other company that's highly focused that comes in and innovates and owns the future. Just like Facebook wasn't around 20 years ago. Now they're this big behemoth, but are they going to be the behemoth that controls the metaverse of the future? I hope not. I think it'll probably be some startup company or some smaller company that comes in very focused, know what people want, and direct it that way.
Yeah, it's getting really exciting.
I was just trying to catch up on comments. I'm like 84 comments.
We got so many
We've
comments.
comics once. I want Randy in my vault. Yes. Can we get a Randy collectible, please?
Oh yeah, yes, make it 69 of them, I guess. I don't know if that'll be enough.
Here's a good question. Do you think they'll ever bring back transfers? Because they said they're going to do it once you get KYC, which makes sense because then it's not just
They're going to have to do it in a way that still pays the licensor their fee. So they're not going to just do it where I can give you a collectible. Somebody's going to be on the hook for the 8.5%.
What's crazy though, Will, is that was one of the huge drivers of VeVe early on. Is people were doing giveaways all the time.
They were cheating the system.
Well,
no, but people doing
part of the
giveaways
use was that, but part of it was being able to just send it. Like I missed the whole merge. I had some drama going on in my life, and I had to step back for a bit from much of VeVe, and I didn't get to merge my wife and I's accounts and stuff. So, and my kids and I's accounts. So, like some of my stuff is kind of stranded still.
Well, that's different. I'm talking transfers. Like I think they're going to have where you can send private offers and, hey, we want to trade these collectibles, and he picks up the fee. And then it's like, if it's a partner statue and it's a sub 100, it's not going to be for the floor. So you're going to have somebody that you got to govern that. That's the issue, because the licensors want their money. And if they're going to sue us, they're going to sue VeVe for their money, Yeah.
It just wrecks the promotion aspect of it. But I guess there's another way you can do is they can give us, like, I guess this might be implemented is, you could send OMI, I guess, and you can buy collectibles of OMI when OMI to NFT is integrated. But you could also do like some sort of redemption code or some sort of something else to be able to help promote it, right? Like there needs to be. I remember heaps of people were doing giveaways every
now,
week.
We might say like you can give 100 bronze tickets for one promotional transfer or something like that. I could see them trying something like that, but you got to look, like in the bull run, Secret Rare Spider-Man might hit 150,000, and I'm just going to transfer it to you, and then who's going to get the 8.5%? You know what I mean? That's a lot of money. That's why I see the sticking point in that.
I mean, they just had this issue with some back cowls where there were.
There's a ghost in the background.
Yeah, I see. Hi.
Oh,
Hi,
You look so cute in your little white
You make
robe.
sure that I am not insulting the queen.
So back cowls, they just had, and there's a lot of the people on both sides about this. They just had a big whale that was going to liquidate a bunch of his stuff, and there was a couple of people that said, "Hey, let's go in and see if we could do a large OTC deal and have it done by Candy so that it's all legal." Like they wanted it to be done by Candy. They didn't want to do it kind of outside. So there was 12 Bat Cows, 14 Batman and Robin Lives. There was 19 Batman Cowl number 1, 14 Batman Legacy Cowl number 2, and 14 Legacy Cowls number 3s, 14 Brave and the Bold number 67s, 15 Mysterious Pulse Maps, 20 GCDK sigils, and 18 Harley Charms. So it was not an insignificant amount. I don't know the prices of these, but it was 100 something, between 1 and 200 items. And a lot of people were big mad that they did it for them. And I see both sides of some people saying like, okay, either have transfers for everyone or no one. You know, the complaint of these people, they just want to keep it uniform. They think it's unfair. But for me, and I'll play devil's advocate here, and this might be the side that I'm on, is that it's their own company, it's their IP. They can do what they want. They could go in and Randy said back house with Laura with you. Laura's about what we confirm. Mark, I love you so much. But it's their IP, it's their company, and they can do what they want. And I don't have a back Hal. I really have no dog in the fight in this, but it's, if you don't like it, I mean, life. Henry Cavill once said that an old man told him that like life isn't fair. Get used to it, and it's not. I wish I had the capital of a billionaire to go in and put as much money as I can in this, from the bear cycle and even now, but I don't. Like, is that fair? Yeah. I mean,
Randy,
they worked hard and all that crap that it's stirred up for 2 weeks. I mean, why do it? I mean,
yeah. So
Randy, if you had $10 million, would you buy $5 million worth of OMI if you had $10 million?
I mean, it depends. Do I have to sit there at a computer and put in like, okay?
No, you can buy it in one go. You can buy it in one go.
Oh yeah, easily done.
So the actual having to do it is so annoying that you're like, that would put you off buying $5 million.
Well, because that would take probably well over a month. That would take a month if I couldn't do any OTC deals. That would take like, I would have to take a month out of my life, and I'm not talking about like, oh, I did it for like 3 hours a day. I'm talking about actually like the average person spends 2 weeks waiting for a light to change. All of that in one go, like all of that. It would take a month's worth of time of waking hours of working to do that. Yeah, no. There's $5 million. That's so much.
If you put $5 million to OMI, where would you put the other $5 million?
I would go in and I would restart the high risk lending thing with a couple of guys that I know that still do it. I would give them a large percentage of I guess we'd split it, and then they would use my capital. They're successful, and then they'll just give me part of that. So I'd have some residual income coming in. I guess I'll do $1 million to that, maybe $2 million. I would get a bunch of other crypto. Won't exactly say which ones, but I would just double down on most of my positions.
Yeah. OMI 240, I need to update his name, takes 36 hours to buy 10 million OMI at the current trading price.
I feel like the trading value on the volume, that's not just people buying, that's a bunch of people selling in there as well. There's a bunch of cross trades in there, and also that's if some people lose money in those trades because they're buying so much that they have slippage, and they're buying so much that they affect the price. If I were to spend $5 million on it, maybe I would only get like $3.5 million worth of OMI, and then I would pump the price so much. It'd be a lot.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to answer that, Randy, or no? Back here. There's only offered to select people.
Yeah. I don't know all of the details, but again, I understand. Hey, that's not fair. Sure, I understand that point, but this is, again, it's their company. They can do kind of what they want, unless there's anything illegal about that that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, there's nothing illegal about it, and wasting our time like complaining about it just facilitated a bigger deal for a bunch of people. What people complaining about it, were they going to buy that? And anyway, my dad used to say life is fairly unfair to everyone. And it's true. It is fairly unfair to everyone. Like, all of us have a whole bunch of unfairness. So complaining about unfairness is like, yeah, and like, deal with it. Like, we're men. A few of us in the space are women, but it's like, we just have to make stuff happen regardless of things being fair or not fair. And we have to plan that in.
I like that. It's deep. That goes deep, Randy. Sorry, Rain. I get Randy and Rain confused. You guys are so much alike.
Both names just kind of flow off the lips, and it's just fun, easy words.
It's true. Mm-hmm. It's true. Will, last time we were on, I think you wanted to talk about boxing. What do you think about the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul?
Oh my God. This is what I know. If Jake Paul is smart, he will stay away and tire him out and try to take him out in later rounds. If he chooses to engage, the last thing that goes is power. That is a bad choice.
Did
Um,
you hear
I
what
was
they
listening-
said? The rules have been changed. It's a sanctioned fight now.
Yeah,
it's a
I know
real.
all
It goes on
that.
their record.
2 minutes.
Oh, so no
yeah,
headgear
I
for
know it
Paul?
all.
No,
I watch a lot of Michael Jaw White. Like
No headgear.
he knows a lot of people that spar with Jake Paul, and he says no way if he spars with Mike Tyson the same way he goes after those guys, he's in serious trouble. And the thing that I'm curious is, he has a punch. He's knocked people out, but he's knocked people out that he's 30 pounds heavier than. He's not knocked out a 220-pound man. That's a whole different ball game.
How much does Jake weigh?
He's up to 230 for the fight. He's put on chunk, but I don't know if that's the best strategy either, because his cardiovascular system is going to be taxed too. I would have stayed lean and just tried to outpoint him. You know?
It's hard to knock out Mike Tyson. That's for sure.
This is Mike Tyson we're talking about. If Mike Tyson's on his game, holy smokes! One of the
if he gets inside, Jake Paul's in trouble.
Dude, did you guys see the press conference from like a week ago, where there was this guy and he's like, and he's kind of trying to take a shot at Jake Paul. He's like, Jake, when are you going to fight a real fighter? When are you going to stop with the gimmicks?
Oh,
and then Jake returns like, did you just call Mike Tyson a gimmick? And like, the fuck did you say, boy? Like he just had something switched, and he
He's a killer.
he was ready to go out.
Oh, Mike was.
Oh my god!
Mike
He's
lost
a
it.
killer.
Yeah, if that Tyson
Mike
comes to
Tyson,
that
piss
fight,
off.
he's
You don't piss
just
off
an
Mike.
act. He's a killer. And that doesn't go away. I mean, he's gonna try to take his head off.
yeah.
Mike's
But-
worried about
oh,
Mike
God,
Tyson. I'm not worried about Mike Tyson's chin, man. Mike Tyson's has he even been knocked out? I've seen him be knocked down. I don't know if Mike Tyson's even been knocked out. If he has,
He's been counted out before. One of the times I remember him counted out is that because he lost his mouthpiece, and instead of getting back up, he was looking like for the mouthpiece to put it back in because he was getting ready to go up and like heck the other guy up, but then like he just got counted out because of that.
that's not really a knockout. So so Mike Tyson's never been knocked out cold on the floor like that sort of
Not
thing.
cold, no.
No,
Well,
I mean,
that's insane. Then that's crazy.
Evander abused him a few of those fights.
yeah.
He abused them.
Jake better watch his ears. Mike's hungry.
I mean, I know Tyson's so many years older now, and he's not the same, but it's still Mike Tyson. Like
Have
it's
you guys
still
seen training videos? His training videos, like
Yes,
it feels
he
like
is
he's
looking
destroying the
strong.
Yeah.
He's got to take him out in the first 3 rounds. You're 58, your cardio will not last. It just won't.
I do think that if it gets around, like, what are they doing? 6 rounds or 8 rounds?
8.
Yeah, if it gets to the last 2 rounds, I think Jake Paul could potentially do something when Mike's really tired.
But if Jake is put on a whole bunch of weight, his cardiovascular system's not, and so he's going to get tired too.
Yeah, but
he can still shed it. They still got 2 months? He could still shed it. Is it 2 months?
Yeah.
But
I think is it June?
It's
June or July?
I
have it saved in my calendar. Hang on. See where we got here.
Mark said that Buster Douglas knocked him out. Anybody remember that fight? Tyson knocked out Buster Douglas. It was the slowest 10 count ever. I will go to my grave saying that Tyson was doped in that fight, and the money was long. And friggin' Don Kingdom. He put $5 million on the other guy.
20th of July. So it's exactly 2 months from now.
He could lose 15 pounds and be pretty lean.
I mean, you could do that. Well, it's not healthy to do that in like a week, but you could do that in like a week.
I think it's all for show right now in the presser.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to watch. It's been interesting to see how big he got. Jake has gotten big. Both him and his brother. Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean, they are athletes. They are really
tall,
good.
right?
Well, it's amazing what you can do when you have money and you can hire a personal trainer and you can get the right steroid mixes. You can get pretty big.
Best steroids, best trainer. And the thing is,
you
guys,
I mean, look at all the celebrities, right? So all the Marvel movies and everything, right? So the actor is getting ready for it. They put on some serious muscle. It's a combination of different steroid cocktails as well as workouts, plus lots of protein in their diet. It'll be fun. I'm totally gonna find like who's the guy that did High School Musical? Zac Efron. I want to find his trainer.
No, he's way too much on HGH. That chin has become freaking.
Is that from
Like the Crimson
HGH?
Chin.
He's gotten too big, right? I liked how he was for Baywatch. Yes, that.
Yeah, that block chin is from HGH.
Yeah, I was about to say, have you guys seen Conor McGregor? His face has
Same
changed.
thing.
Oh yeah,
Same
yeah.
thing.
That's steroid use.
He looks so different now. He's like chunky. It's
I
really
wasn't
weird.
quite sure if that was him in the movie Roadhouse. I was like, I think that's Conor McGregor, but I'm not sure. His face looks different.
Either that or they cloned him. I don't know what happened.
That's coming, right? They're going to deep fake actors. They're like, oh, we'll pay you to be in the film. And they're like, oh, you want too much money? No, we'll pay you $1 million. We'll just make a deep fake of you.
That's right. That's right. Well, I saw a film recently at the movies. Ryan Gosling movie. What's called The Fall Guy? Have you guys seen it? The Fall Guy.
Yes, that was a good one.
Good movie.
And they had to scan his face in, right? And
Yep.
so they could get like the likeness of him. Or yeah, it's like that. That is the future of movies. It's pretty
Totally.
pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. So we'll shift gears to the overall crypto market. I think. Rain, what's your look on the next 2 months in the market?
I'm super excited. We're in this lull. And this lull, a lot of people freak out during these lulls because they just haven't been in for that long. And, you know, I've been investing for 18 years prior to crypto and 7 years in crypto. These lulls are like music to my ears because I know what happens later. What happens later is massive, barring a nuclear war or like EMP meltdowns. There are some reasons that it doesn't go massive, but the likelihood or the odds are strongly in our favor that it goes massive from here. And so I'm way long on tons and tons of crypto, right? So I've got all my bags packed in crypto. I know a lot of my audience has their bags packed in crypto, and I'm really looking forward to how this market goes. So the question is, like, we have this bull run coming. The bigger question is, like, how big is the bull run? Is it a super cycle, like what Randy was talking about, where we get 8 years of growth in 2 years? It might be. Like, it's got the strongest chance this cycle of being a super cycle now that we have true institutional involvement. I don't know whether it'll play out that way. If so, I'll have probably sold some of my crypto off early. Some of it I'll have recognized that that's going on. I'll hold on a little bit longer for. And, you know, at the end, I'll be like, dang, I left some money on the table. I sold some of it too early. That's a great problem to have. That's a problem that people that prepare during the bear market are going to complain about as they live in their $10 million mansion and all their sports cars and everything. It's like, crap, I could have made an extra 180 million, or I could have made 300 million more. Hashtag subsection of first world problems. And that's what we're looking for.
It's exciting. It's exciting time. Will, I'll go to you because you've got a decent crypto, diverse bag, right?
Yeah, I was really curious. I'm not super TA, so I'm not the greatest, but like April closed really weird for Bitcoin. That's a terrible candle for it on the 2 month. And I was just curious to see, that's why I was curious to see how May went. Now we've been in a bull flag pattern. It looks like we're going to confirm a breakout. As long as we close over, I think it's like 61.5 on Sunday, which is good. And well, like I said, the RSI and stuff low. So in theory, it could be gearing up for takeoff here. So I am excited. Plus, like I said, I'm a little behind in one of the accounts because I guess I put an extra 0 in, and my wife reminds me that every day. So I'm waiting for that to become positive so I don't have to hear it. Even though the other one's up like 150K, it doesn't matter. I'm down 10 in this one. So
that's about right.
Wives' jobs are always they feel it always perfect their husband, so they remind them of their mistakes and sometimes they miss the bigger picture of all the wins.
So I'm just waiting. I'm waiting, but I really think this week I'm very curious. I think it's the start of something to come. Could it fall back? And if it consolidates more, it just benefits us because usually longer consolidation is a better bull run. So,
yep.
Randy, what's your thoughts?
I think that there's a common misconception among people that don't look at the bigger picture, and maybe a lot of times look at the glass half empty, where they say, this guy just won a bunch of money, or he made a bunch of money. Well, he has money. And you know what they say, money goes to money. And that's partly true, but that's not the best answer. If we're taking a test in school, the best answer would be, well, money goes from the inpatient to the patient. And if I can quote Einstein, or he said, he who understands it earns it, and he who doesn't pays it. That's, hopefully if you're smart enough and you got and you got the, and you paid your dues, last cycle or at any point in the cycle, then you could use that as education and make yourself ready for this next one. Obviously, the better time to have bought would have been before today, or you could pinpoint a time in the last 6 months, 8 months, whatever. But when's the next best time to buy? I mean, is it right now? Yeah. Could we go down from here? Sure. I don't think ETH goes up 19% in one day and doesn't have a little retracement, but will it matter a year from now? Whether you get in on when ETH is 4,000 or 3,000. I mean, yes, it'll matter. You can measure that in dollars, but things should still go up at a very, very nice rate.
A lot of nice altcoins are still cheap too, Randy.
A lot of nice what?
Altcoins are still cheap.
Oh yeah,
they've gone down, right? A lot
of alts are still nice.
Yeah,
a lot
still
of
so juicy.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is there were some people that see a lot of the audience came in at March of 2021 or later. And so they really haven't been in a bull run that they prepared for, except for you saw a little bit of it with those people that came in with their VeVe collectibles. And what you saw is it happened slowly and then suddenly, because that's how it happens. It feels like it's never going to happen because it's so irritatingly slow. And then it's very, very sudden and very, very quick. And then when the place you end up in is, oh, why didn't I buy so much more? Oh, shoot. Why didn't I listen to Rain? Crap. Yeah, I went and spent $8,000 on a cruise and I did this, and that $8,000 would now be $500,000. Crap. Okay, well, we do have to live life too, but yes, can you squeeze your expenses so that you can buy more? I'm not saying don't pay your rent, don't pay your mortgage. That's stupid. That will put you in a bad spot. But are there things you can squeeze in your expenses so you can buy more while it's cheap? Because later, the likelihood that that turns into really good money from here, chances are way, way in our favor. And they're not only way, way in our favor, but if you're right on that, the amount of multiples you make aren't just doubling your money, it's massively up over that. So this is the best thing I've waited my whole entire life for. The best kind of return investment where the not only like is the return on investment so high, but the odds when you're doing research and finding good projects, you can stack the odds in your favor. And then if you're right, the multiples on your money are just so high. It's incredible. Like I've looked for this kind of thing or waited for this kind of opening my whole life, and like missing this in crypto, no way.
I love that, Ray.
Yeah. What OMI 240M just said, that they're squeezing certain things on holidays so they could buy more day. I mean, that's what a lot of successful people do. They go with that. I mean, Bezos did it with Amazon, Musk did it with Tesla. I mean, and SpaceX. Squeeze, scrimp and save, and you put that into the companies. And I did that with high risk lending, and there's going to be other people that are doing that now, just like OMI 240M.
Yeah, I've been shouting from the rooftops to all my friends and family to get into crypto. I've been telling them, just get something, get in. What's funny is I have influenced quite a few people to get into crypto, and majority of them are already up, and we're not even in the bull run, right? But a couple are probably down a little bit. But it's a really, really exciting time, and like to be going on a holiday right now when you can be putting that money towards crypto, in my opinion, is not the best, not the best plan. Like Rand said, you do have to live, so it depends, right? Do you already have a big bag of crypto and a little holiday is not going to be affected, or is this going to be like that's all the money you had to put into something, and now you go on holiday and you get back from the holiday and you're still poor, right? Like that's not what you want to do, in my opinion.
It is. It's opportunity costs, and I like I said, everybody knows at work what I do. And one guy listened to me. He wasn't crypto so much, but I got him in MicroStrategies at under 400. I got him in Coinbase at 80. I got him in Robinhood, I think it was $8. And he sees, but now he's getting impatient. He's like, it's been 80 days. I'm like, and you're still up 3 or 4x. What do you want? Like, I'm like, dude, but he's even up $100,000, And he's like, well, wait, where's it at? I'm like, are you kidding me? In a year, you're gonna look stupid. Sell. I don't care. But people are really impatient. I mean, that's everybody wants that instant gratification. Everybody wants, and
they want to go to a millionaire in the next 25 days.
You make people money and
Buy
they steal
Bitcoin.
it. I don't understand. It's been 80 days and Bitcoin's just in the range. And I'm like, that's what it does. It's good for us.
Yeah.
That's important. It's building structure. That's what you want. I mean, nothing goes up forever. And people will, but I guarantee you, OMI will hit whatever it hits, a cent or whatever. And then people will be like, hey, how do you buy that again? I'm like, it's kind of late, guys. But if you want to be my exit liquidity, here, I'll show you how.
Be like, hey, I'll give you some of mine. Just don't do no OTC.
So what I was going to say is like Bitcoin is hovering right now around 69 to 70,000, right?
Nice.
Just hovering before the bull run. That's what it was as a peak for last cycle.
Yeah.
And we're just chilling there. And it's like very relaxed. So, what's the next peak going to be? I mean, I think we're going to hit like 200, 300,000.
And the halving's already happening and has already happened. You're seeing the capitulation of the miners that can no longer sustain mining at this price. Yep. So then they start to fall off. Like this pattern plays out similarly every time. Not exactly the same, but similarly. So what's coming short of like massive world changing events is a huge run. So the odds are about 95% in our favor. There's no guarantees. We're just playing the odds. 95% in our favor that Bitcoin goes double or triple or quadruple or higher from here. Altcoins, depending on the project, will go anywhere from 2x to some of them 500x or above. And cool. So I try to find the best altcoins, the ones that I feel like the chances of them failing from now to the bull run are really, really low. And if they do succeed because they're actually solving real world problems, cool, they're going to go massive, like massive. And so, I mean, that's what this gig is all about. You're actually early stage investing in crypto businesses. Coupled with this 4-year cycle, this is what accelerates it, because normally when you're investing in early stages businesses, you have to wait 7, 8, 10, 12, 15 years to whether they pay out. But because Bitcoin has set this 4-year cycle that Bitcoin goes crazy, which then gets massive flows of money into Bitcoin that then flows into everything else, we have this crazy short cycle of 4-year cycle. And although that seems so long for people who are outside investment circles, there's no cycle in the world that's shorter. And some people can't wait more than 2 years. Like literally when people ask me what I do now, I didn't used to tell them this, but what I say is I teach people, mostly men, how to make crazy, risky, stupid investments that most people aren't right for. And they're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, most people aren't right for. They just don't have the patience. They can't withstand the patience, because for them, 4 years, like they literally wash out, and it's not that long to be patient. There is nothing that's shorter. There is nothing that can make you a millionaire in shorter times than crypto. And yet they can't even have the patience for that. It's just not, wealth is just not right for them. And that's cool. Like you can lead a horse to water. You can't make it drink, because if they can't be patient in crypto, there's nothing that's faster. Yet it's still like your friend will $100,000 and he's like, oh my gosh, when am I going to have millions? And it's like, oh my gosh, can you wait 12 months? Can you wait 18 months? Like people wash out because they don't know how long this normally takes. And like, this is fast. And it happens slowly, but suddenly, right? And then all of a sudden when they're brand new, they don't sell when it's going crazy. Because it seems like every day they wait to sell, their portfolio is doubling, and they just hold on too long and then don't take profits on that side.
There's as far as the impatience goes, I have a theory that will it might make sense, it might not. The same way that our monkey brains can't comprehend that, hey, there's a decent amount of people in the world and we no longer need to boink to save the species and constantly repopulate. I think that why a lot of people have impatience is because when we were hunter-gatherers and we're waiting, okay, the buffalo are coming, okay, and then the buffalo don't come. Well, if you don't adapt and you don't say like, okay, the buffalo aren't here, we have to move, and that's where I think patience comes from. And our brains haven't caught up to what society and we have people telling them all the time, hey, there's a 4-year cycle. And so it's not like people don't know. I mean, some don't, but a lot of people listen to us. are in the know of, hey, there's a 4-year cycle. You have to wait for the narrative to hit. But they're just fighting against evolution. They're just fighting against their, our monkey brain saying to be impatient, because that's what helped us in the past.
Yeah.
I
Because
couldn't
there's
get
a
my
transfer
Tyson on
from
my
the
head.
impatient to the patient, and crypto is no different.
Preach.
You guys ready?
Yes.
Let's check this really quickly because I couldn't. Imagine that guy
Day
punching you.
one, the fun just begun.
And that was day one.
Oh my gosh.
I've seen a point of view of
Day
someone
one,
fighting Mike
the
Tyson.
fun just. Day two, we're getting ready for you. One, two, three, four.
His head movement's crazy.
That-
His trainer would be like, trainer has life insurance.
They say it takes 10,000 hours to become a master at anything, right? And the challenge that Jake Paul is going to have is he's fairly new to boxing. He's got, I don't know, maybe 2,000 to 4,000 hours in it. And Mike Tyson's probably got 20,000 to 50,000 hours in it.
Let's see some more. That's just all training.
Yeah, curious to see him weight training.
Whoa, what is that? They're just checking his heart rate and stuff.
Yes. Oh,
Oh, look how tanky he is.
He's building that power.
Yeah, I had to put some of that on because it's just too much fun. Yeah, what you guys said is 100% true. The 4-year cycles and people being impatient. Pretty much all of you guys said the same thing, and I don't know how to get into people's heads other than we just keep saying the same thing. But it's they're going to see it, and a lot of them will buy it at the top, right? Like Will said, they're gonna come to us when OMI's a cent, and when Bitcoin's $100,000, and when I don't know what 8 is going to get to.
Well, what's funny is investing is a transfer of wealth from the impatient to the patient, and crypto is just an accelerated cycle of that. And so some people just aren't right for wealth because they haven't figured out the patience in their life. And until they do, they're never going to have it.
Philip B says an interview with Mike Tyson where he said he made the clip afterwards. He was exhausted and found out that he became older.
He doesn't recover like he used to. He needs ice bath.
Remember, that was the start of his training, right?
Yeah,
He's been training really
recover.
hard now.
I mean, when you're inactive for X amount of time, you're going to be tired. And once you get back in, like the muscles, like the strength stays there. Muscle has memory. I guess that's where the muscle memory thing comes from.
And it's old mature muscle too. And there's something about old man strength and that old mature muscle. I can't say I fully understand it. Just experiencing some of it, but some other people I know that built a lot of muscle early on. Wow, their strength later on, even when they don't work out, is amazing.
Yeah, I think it's possible. Like, also, he might be on some roids now, right? Are they testing for that? Because everyone said
They
Jake
never
Paul's
said
on.
if they were a part of the USADA pool or anything like that. I hope not, because it's a gimmick fight. So let them. What do I care,
But it's a sanctioned fight now. It's going on their record.
Yeah, but there's sanctioned but is it sanctioned? Like, I mean, because they've already adjusted rules, like because it's 3-minute rounds now or 2-minute rounds. It's 12 rounds and now it's 8. So I mean,
It's 8
you get the
2-minute
right
rounds.
people.
That's probably for Mike. Yeah,
but like James Harrison from the Steelers used to spend $300,000 on recovery when he was 38, 39, because that's how he makes his money. I'm sure they're doing the same for Tyson with hyperbaric and ice baths and whatever else they have available. I could see him playing a little possum, and like Randy says, he may be tired day 1 through 20, but come 21 through 40, you'll start pepping up.
Mm-hmm.
Breach.
Did you guys see the Tyson Fury versus Usyk fight? That was crazy.
No.
No. How was it?
Fury's corner is a train wreck. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fury lost for the first time ever.
His dad and all that, like it's becoming a sideshow now, unfortunately.
He's pretty old now as well, right? How old's Fury? He's quite old. He's definitely not young.
Let's say 35, somewhere in there.
No, he's gonna be in his 40s, right?
I don't think so. Maybe.
He's big. He's a big guy. It's hard to judge. Tyson Fury. Anyway, well, we should probably get back to crypto. You're right. He's 35 years old. No way. He's 120
Don't
kilos.
doubt me, Jordan.
120 kilos. He looks way older. The boxing has been.
I know my
bad for him.
fighting.
He had 30 wins, right? 30 wins, 0 losses, and now he just had his first loss ever.
Yeah,
So
but I mean, his dad was headbutting people, and his whole corner was a train wreck.
The rematch is worth $100 million. Nice. It's crazy. Well, I think we're coming close to an hour and a half now. Does everyone want to go around and maybe shill your favorite crypto tokens, whatever it is, and we'll probably close it out today. We've had a lot of really fun round table discussions. So, Randy, you'd like to go last, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Randy and Will, do you guys want to go first?
I'll go.
Randy,
I'm the newbie. I mean, right now I'm not buying a whole bunch. I'm pretty well set, but there's so many things that are cheap. I mean, yes, OMI, like you guys talk about MK, Devi, still 60 cents or something like that. It's dirt. There's so many good projects right now that, I know Bumper's down, Definity, all the things that Rain has told you and Randy's told you, all those are quality projects that are honestly dirt right now. Do a little research, find the one that agrees with you, and $500 in any of those projects could honestly yield you a decent amount, because sometimes people are like, well, I don't have 10 grand to put in. And I get that. But sometimes on those things, it's $5 to $1,000 make a world of difference.
Awesome. Randy, what's your thoughts on your favorite tokens?
Yeah, I would say outside of OMI, because that's where I'm most heavily positioned personally. Pretty much everything that Will said. Definity is one of, I think, probably my second favorite. Again, OMI being the first. Definity is just stupid undervalued. We up 11% on the day, and the trading volume is $3,600. So that is going to change at some point. Yeah,
they've got low liquidity, right? Yeah, because I've got Definity as well. It's one of my
so it's at $3,600. You'll be able to add a couple zeros to that in the future as I get on exchanges, as I do.
Did you say 100x? Did you say 100x?
Oh, I just meant to the trading volume. I didn't, which obviously, the price is fully diluted. It's less than $6 million market cap. I feel like, remember in what was that movie called? Moneyball, where Jonah Hill is talking to Billy about a pitcher that he pitches like submarine style. It's like, this guy is worth at least $3 million. You can get him for $275. After announcements come out, after they do advertising, after people know what they can do, this company maybe shouldn't be worth $1 billion, maybe shouldn't be worth having, but it should be worth a lot more than it is now. And obviously, as that narrative hits and things overcorrect, because crypto is not an accurate weighing machine, it's inaccurate, it'll go way past that. So this thing will likely do what is 100x, 600 million? Yeah, this could do well over 100x. We could be a couple 100x. Not financial advice. Not financial advice.
I'm keen on that. Cool. Well, you guys know I'm pretty close to this one. I like all those. OMI, MK, Chuck. I don't have any Devi now. I did have some. I sort of sold it for break even when before it had a massive dump. So I did well there. I know Rain, that's one of your good ones. Vet. I don't have any Vet now. I used to have a lot of Vet last cycle. It did pretty well. I have a lot of Epico though. So Epico, MK, OMI, and Chuck are probably my 4 favorite from that list. I have Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. I don't have any Link. I've heard Link might do really, really well, but it's a long term. And a Link also runs in the bear market. It's a bit of a weird one because it actually has massive revenue outside of crypto. So
yeah, it's one of the few crypto projects that's revenue positive. Ecomi being one of the other ones, right? So that's a rare thing. Look, we're in the most exciting space. And so my approach to the crypto is why not learn to become good at investing? If you're here to learn to become good at investing, you're learning a skill that's going to make you millions, if not billions, over the coming years. In this space, hopefully we have this cycle and at least one that follows this. So a lot of what I share on my channel is teaching you to think the right way. So I don't even have to tell you which ones that I love, and you know how to go out and find them. Now, do I share the ones that I love? Yeah, I'll share with you the ones I love. And more importantly, I share with you why I love them, because I'm not here to like give people fish. I'm here to teach people a fish, because someday I am going to be on a private island. I'm going to have made a whole bunch of friends in this space, and I'm just going to be doing other things. And so that still everyone who followed my channel can carry on making millions, if not billions, because the principles that we shared. And a lot of what I share just comes from the observations I made of who's been massively successful in crypto versus all the other people that haven't been over the past 7 years, and what those people that were successful did versus all the other people, and what I did that made me one of the top earners in crypto over the past 7 years. And so not just my successes, but some of the other people I know that made millions through crypto, and what they did differently from the 90% of people who didn't do well in crypto. The numbers are quite bad as far as, yes, it seems like everyone who's here today will get rich in crypto, and you're not too wrong from that, because the truth is not everyone who is here today, because there are a whole bunch of people that were here, 2 years ago, that aren't here now. About 80% of them. So one of the biggest lessons in crypto is don't wash out during the bear market, which is what 80% of people do wrong. There's another 10% that just kind of chase in the narratives that still do bad, even though their timing is pretty good. So if you're here today, the chances are really good for you, because what's coming is going to be big. But I will caution you, when it starts going crazy and things are way, way up, don't do yourself a disservice and buy massively then. That'll be a time to be selling and taking profits out, not finding creative ways to remortgage your house and throw everything in when everything's 30x from here and people are saying it's never going to come down from here. Oh, it will. And that's sometimes what happens, where people who are in the right place right now end up wrecking themselves, because then they move in massive money that they can't afford to lose, then trying to ride it higher, and then it collapses on them. So make your positions now while it's still cheap. Yes, it's not as cheap as it was a year ago. It's not going to be as cheap as it was a year ago. We're in this little lull before the action happens. Now's the time to get creative. Don't use money that you can't afford to lose, but squeeze your expenses so you can buy as much now and let that stuff ride. So people will be asking me what I'm buying 9 months from now when it's crazy. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm selling. Yeah, but it's never going to go down from here. Oh, yeah. Every time I hear that, that's right near the end. That's what they say. Ask people about real estate. They'll say, oh, we're in this little lull, but as soon as interest rates come down, it's going to go up another 2x. Will it? Maybe, if they keep printing off money like crazy. That's the only reason it would. But like, what goes up does come down, and crypto's no different. So maybe we have a super cycle this time and things go crazy from here. Cool. But at some point, realize that will reverse. And so make your positions now. Now is the time, not later. Don't be getting all creative and refinancing your house and pulling $500,000 out to throw it in Bitcoin at 200,000. That's where you'll wreck yourself.
Yeah. Real life examples in our community of people that did that at the top last time with many different coins, and if they held, they'll probably be fine. But yeah, that's a hurt. That's a big oof.
Yeah, I had a friend, like I told him about crypto just the right time at the bottom, and he put 5,000, or what was it, like 5,000 in. It went up and then it went down, and he watched some YouTube videos, some big YouTube channels, so he figured they knew what they were talking about and I didn't. And he sold it when it went down to 5,000 again. He's like, oh, I broke even, and then it went down lower, and then it went way up, and he had to rebuy in, and he essentially ended up behind. And he still made massive money on that. But then what did he do? He threw $30,000 more in at the top.
What?
Whoa.
Yes. If he had just put the 35,000 in at the beginning, would have been fine. But he's like, oh, crypto's cool, and it's never going to stop going up, because he watched those big channels. And if they're a really big YouTube channel, they must know what they're talking about, right? That's what he thought. And it's like, if you follow what the big YouTube channels say, you will get absolutely wrecked. Why do you think? What's funny is 90% of people in crypto watch the big YouTube channels. And yet, how is it 90% of people do really badly in crypto? Because they follow the big YouTube channels. Like part of the reason, like there's another YouTuber I know who's been in the crypto space and he analyzes projects very good. And he's been in the crypto space for like 9 years. And he only has like 150,000 subscribers. And he had 120,000 subscribers 4 years ago. And his channel does not get very big, even though he is one of the first in crypto. And the reason is he covers projects that are undervalued. And your channel will not grow very much covering projects that are undervalued, because nobody is searching for those projects when they haven't pumped. And so YouTube's algorithm says, don't share this out because nobody's searching for that, and your channel will not grow. The converse is true. If they have a really big YouTube channel, it's because they're shilling everything when it's pumping. That's when everyone's searching for it. That's a terrible time to buy. It's a great time to sell. And that's how their YouTube channels get really big. And so this is the problem of influencers in this space. You think, oh, they have 2 million subscribers. They must know what they're talking about. I'm going to follow them. Oh, they make a really good case for why I should be. For example, a really big channel just sold all their ETH like 4 days ago into Solana. Massive position.
Oops.
Oh, this person is a financial advisor and everything. He must know what he's talking about. It's like, oh my hell. Does he not even understand still what he's doing? He's been in crypto for like 8 years. I'm like, stupid.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
but
was
Solana's way up, and why have I held on my ETH position? And he rolled it all into Solana, and now what happened?
ETH's up 20%.
ETH's up 20% on the day.
Yeah, and it just like, and you think he would know better, but no, like this is what they do, right? He does have an advantage that he has a massive channel. So whenever he covers specific projects, they all pump because his audience is buying them. So it looks like he's a genius.
Oh, it's ripping. Bitcoin is ripping.
Go.
So
Bitcoin
like,
is
yes, I guess this is my soapbox for like, look, are you here to become an investor? If so, there's some things that you need to know to do differently than what the majority of people do in crypto. Because if you're doing what just the majority of people do in crypto, it's probably not going to go very well for you.
Crazy. Okay. Well, thanks so much for coming out, guys. I'm going to put some awesome OMI outro music. So we're going to have a little dance. But yeah, I really appreciate your time, Crypto Rain, the real Randy Chavez, and Will, as well as Queen VeVe in the background, the ghost. Yeah, thanks so much for coming out, guys. And make sure you subscribe to all their channels, to their X accounts, all that stuff. And we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
You didn't type that?
What they say is the rise of the digital G. OMI token got the market bound. Can't you see? With crypto, NFT, non-fungy fame on an
Glory in the background.
I'm the buzz one. With a blockchain, no mystery. Live, wow, 100 more stats. I'm repping on this. Yet I chuckle cause I'm betting on this.
Sponsored by Ecomi. I don't know if Jordan gave the shout out. We're sponsored by Ecomi.
That's the play. NFTs.
Slowly then suddenly.
Look at the charts. Sky's the limit. I'm invested
Sponsored
in it.
by
And I'm
Ecomi.
going to win it. Got that digital.
Sponsored by Ecomi.
It's the
There we
ball.
go.
But remember, play a coin, make a wish. This is not financial
Hey, guys.
advice.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in.